Hey, this is Beverly Bozeman, and welcome to a special edition of About Her Ministry, where we are going to interview a woman who is in the marketplace. And this segment is entitled Ministry in the Marketplace. So, welcome today, our very special guest, Miss Ashley Barrett of Legacy Financial. Thank you so much for stopping by.
Oh, it is a pleasure to be on. Thank you for just having me. I appreciate this time. I never take it lightly when I am invited on to anyone's platform because I know the time that you took out to make it, your dreams possible, and just to see you moving forward with this is amazing. So I'm excited to be here.
Good. We are so excited, and you guys are in for a treat. We've had several conversations, and she always has some really good information, some pearls of wisdom, and just sit back and enjoy the show. So, tell us about your company, Legacy Financial.
Awesome. Well, I'm excited to talk about it because it's like having a baby, a new baby. You're like, I want everyone to just kind of see my baby. I'm so excited. So what Legacy Financial is, we are a financial, I love to say like the financial services, the Amazon, of financial services. That's what I love about what we do. And we were being groomed by a broker. My broker she actually made history when she became a broker. And so she's been able to groom me and my husband in business to pretty much do exactly what it is that she's doing, helping people all over. To be honest, she's like way bigger than us, but for her to be able to help us personally with our finances, get things in order, such as proper life insurance protection, making sure that we actually had things in place, estate planning, all the things that we really did not have in place. When she came in and she helped us, we were like, man, what if we could really start to help other people? Because there's so many that are out there that was like us, who sat down with maybe investors and maybe had different types of things going on in their financial portfolio, but still not enough. Still not fully protected in certain areas. And so when me and my husband looked at us and we're like, man, if we got help, right, how many other people can we go and help?
Right.
So we just have been going hard with just studying in the industry. And so we have, of course, having our grand opening ribbon ceremony, but we grew Legacy Financial pretty much just out of the desire of wanting to help other couples. Me and my husband, we really took that to heart because we felt like, okay, if we're a couple, millennial, we want people to come and help us out, because we didn't have a lot of money conversations growing up. So when our financial broker did, I'm like, wow, if we can have this gift that she's given us, which is financial literacy, and start giving that to other couples that were just young like us, trying to figure life out, newly married, children, we're like, what can we do? So it was really just a heart thing, a heart move to just move on it and not really know all about the industry, but just being willing to learn so much more about it so that we could help others. And so now we are in a privileged position to really just be able to do that full time, really go over people's finances, really explain to them all of the things that they think they may have in place, or even just honestly never undo what anyone has ever done, for clients that may already have a financial advisor. But we want to help educate. It's so many people that aren't familiar with the type of retirement plans that they have. Unfortunately, HR, they're excited for you to come join their, company, and they're going to sign off on that 401k, but they will not break it down to you. Don't even look forward for them to do it. You'll still be sitting there. They're like, okay, great, you can go. You're like, well, I need to talk more about my retirement. Do I max it out? What do I do? I mean, you may get about this much information, but they're not really going to break down the taxes and the penalties and just certain things you should be aware of. And so me and my husband saw that need, and we're like, yeah, we have to educate, as many couples, as many millennials, as many people as we can on the proper things that they have out here. That's, for people. They think this not out here. Yes, it's out here. You can have a dream retirement, but sometimes you have to really ask yourself, well, have I really went and thought about what my retirement is, or how I want to live, or what do I want to be doing when I'm 65? Taking that time out. But that's where it stemmed from, just the heart of, man, it's too many people that aren't financially free, or it's too many people that could utilize enhancing what they have, and we just want to help serve them. And that's where it came from.
How did you get your education regarding financial literacy? Was it a lot of books, or was it courses, or sit down one-on-one training with your mentor?
Absolutely. A lot of one-on-one trainings with my mentors. We are just blessed to be in a privileged position, where we have access to so many different top financial companies. And so I've been able to just take the time out to make sure that I kept my head in the books. A lot of people I know, it's kind of like they get out of school and they're like, oh, I don't want to read anything. Like, I just kind of want to get further away from a book as I possibly can, especially when you have, pursued, your associates, your bachelor's. You're like, listen, I'm booked out.
Yeah.
I don't want to learn anymore, or I want my brain to take a break. But what I know is you can really teach yourself so many things because it is a library. And man, if you take the time to just go in and say, okay, what knowledge can I soak up? Because they have books for like Finance 101 for Dummies. Like the small stuff that we will overlook is there, but we don't take the time to really just educate ourselves. And so I did that. I came into an industry where I wanted to be a learn it all instead of like knowing it all, feeling like, oh, I prospered in education and I taught and I did this. No, well, guess what, Ashley? This is a new game field. This is a new playing ground. All the accolades and things you may have achieved in teaching, this is a new arena. So just empty your cup and be willing to fill it by, educating yourself and training and getting with your mentor and really just diving in. And that's what I dedicated myself to.
So the teacher has become the student, like literally.
Literally.
Okay. What kind of teacher were you?
I started out teaching pre-K and then I just moved up. And so I got up to kindergarten and that's where I kind of wanted to really stop at, to be honest with you. I was like, yeah, I don't really want to go into middle school. I want to stay elementary, pre-K. Let's keep me here. So I've kind of been between it all, to be honest with you, because one part of the things that I signed up for was the school that I was under contract with. I had to go to multiple locations at one point. So I have just so much skills when it comes to second grade, third grade, elementary. I've kind of pretty much did it all. But when I was permanently in the classroom, I was more with the pre-K to kindergarten, a lot of kindergarten kids. I love them. I mean, they're super innocent and sweet and they're willing to correct themselves. And I love it. When you start getting up in age, it's more of a lot of challenges when it comes to just, they ask questions. These kids are a little different. So yeah, I've always kind of stayed elementary. I think that was just my lane and I enjoyed it.
Okay, we're going to shift just a little bit. As you were speaking, I was thinking, wow, she and her husband came together and took their knowledge and created a business to help other people. And that's really dynamic because you don't really hear a lot about people taking what they learned to help somebody else, to help themselves, really. And it makes me think about when people are in the type of position that you're in, that you face a lot of obstacles. But some of the obstacles that people don't really consider and they don't talk about is the obstacles from the people that they know and that they love. What type of obstacles have you guys faced from people that starting your own business, leaving the workforce and starting your own business, and in something that we as Black people don't really talk about, finances?
Yes, I'm so glad you brought that up. Man, I will honestly say year 3 for me, I don't know how to say it. I am so, I guess, groomed for it. The rejection and the objections, that it kind of is like, I've grown to that place. It's like I know it. And the reason why I've grown to that place is because what I know is that a lot of people fear the unknown. So I've gotten to a place where I understand you're not really saying no to me. You're saying no to what you don't know.
Exactly.
And it's okay. Most people are like that, you know, oh, I don't feel like I may need that. It's great because sometimes you really do have to temporarily inconvenience someone for their own good.
Yeah.
Because they're going to think, no, I'm great and I'm okay. And a lot of times, unfortunately, they get a little ways ahead in life, but then it's a roadblock. And they realize, man, maybe I don't know as much as I thought I knew. Or so it's okay. I think I have just pretty much grown to that place where I've accepted, you know, that's just a human nature thing. So I've pretty much just been groomed for that. And I actually took a lot of psych courses when I was going through school. So I've kind of just studied the human reactions, and I'm pretty prone to just understanding that that is a natural thing. And I think that is, I know that it's natural, but a lot of people that go into business, they don't think that that's natural. They're thinking it is like a world where everyone will pretty much embrace your idea or embrace you, and you get the opposite of that. You get the total opposite of that. And so I kind of knew that because I've had tough skin. So I've always been that risk taker friend that regardless if everyone went left, I was down to go right. If it made sense, I'll do it. I didn't care. So I was, you know, wired a little different. But for people who are just starting out, that's one of the things you have to build is your mental toughness. Because unfortunately, your family or your friends will not see you as that CEO or that, you know, person who is literally going to change the whole family tree. They don't see that. They see you at their level. And so we faced a lot of, I know I did, because everyone saw me as Ashley the teacher. I'm just a teacher. I'm just a teacher. When did I become Ashley the financial professional? When did I become able or qualified to talk about, you know, finances? And a lot of times with your close family, they're looking like, well, wait a second, if you have it together, it's so many things that they're looking at, you know, outside appearance or whether they feel like you're financially able. So you're going to get a lot of rejection. You're going to get a lot of side eyes, conversations. Honestly, I have been around where people thought I had left the room and I wasn't there. And I've heard them talk about me, but I still embraced it because I knew this is a part of my journey. If I want to be successful, I have to deal with this. Successful people, that's the number one rule. If you're not ready for the critics, if you're not ready for people to speak, you know, unfortunately ill of you, then you're not ready for success. And so I knew that I had to just build my mental toughness and continue to keep going. And I'm just glad that I did that because eventually, guess what? They'll see. They'll see everything that you were building. Eventually, they will, whether they fully understand it or not. They're there to witness it, and so it's a beautiful thing. But just know it, and I don't know how to express that because I know a lot of new entrepreneurs that is like the number one thing that they will literally stop doing their business because they feel the lack of support from family. But I'm here to tell them, listen, strangers have your money. If it was meant for your family to really make you a millionaire, you would be one by now.
Wow, I love that. I'm gonna jot that down. Strangers have your money. Love it. Okay, if somebody, when people hear you and they hear this recording, they're gonna want to know, how do I build my mental toughness? So can you give them some suggestions? It doesn't have to be what you did, but just some suggestions that would work to help them build their mental toughness.
Absolutely. I am a woman of faith. I definitely want to respect everyone's religious views. So I would say whatever you do in maybe meditation or, you know, whatever you may do, I would say spend time doing that and let that be the first part of your morning to really get you in a mindset of even just being clear and open. Because a lot of the times we will wake up and grab our phones.
Yeah.
And it clouds so much of our view. So it's so much that go on that phone, on that device, you know, and we have to take the time to really disconnect so we can say, okay, I'm waking up with the intentional agenda or an intentional schedule, instead of trying to wake up and know what's going on in the world, because there's always something going on in the world, you know. So you never want to wake up and start your day off like that. But so you definitely want to start off with whatever routine that you may have spiritually, and then I would say you want to transition into your affirmations. And if you don't know what that is, guess what? You can Google it. You can YouTube some affirmations. You can find, you know, the affirmations that are maybe suitable for where you're trying to go in life. And so I will highly recommend affirmations, writing those down and keeping them in front of you. Not just a one-time visit thing. No, you have to constantly say it, because the goal is for it to manifest. So
Right.
you having to say your affirmations would definitely be it. And I know you hear me say this a lot: read. Whenever I am finding myself becoming emotional in business, I stop everything and I will read. It's so, because the book sense that you get helps build your logic up. And so when logic is up, emotion is down. And that's, you can't be emotional trying to make money. You can't be. It's I'm sorry, it's just not a part of it. And so that's why I highly recommend mental read those books. It is so many books out here from entrepreneurs who share their stories of struggle. You are going to need it, because in those moments where you have family that is questioning you, and people that are still questioning, like maybe a huge decision you're about to make, you're going to need to know about the story that you read in that book. You know, that, you know, I remember so-and-so said they did it. This is how kind of like they started out. I must be on the right track.
Yeah. Love it. Love it. I'm jotting down notes too.
Anything I can do to help share, I am here for it.
I love it. I love it. So what is one of the biggest obstacles that you have faced personally in your journey to becoming an entrepreneur? It doesn't have to be super personal, but something that was about you, not necessarily you and your husband, or you in the business, but you on your journey.
Ooh, I would have to say, which would be my belief system, to be totally transparent, because I did not start off confident. I did not start off believing that I could really make it happen, that I didn't start off that way. So it would have to be my belief system. That was my biggest obstacle coming into business. Although I saw what I could do potentially in the financial industry, I still wasn't as confident. And a lot of times it's because of what we don't know. So you already fear the unknown, but at the same time, I think I was so ready just for a change, to really see, you know, what life could be if I knew more about money, and more about business. So I was extra hungry and just fully determined to take the challenge on. But yeah, it is that the belief part, because it's hard when you have not seen people in your family become successful. That will become your lid in a way, and you'll say, well, I didn't see my aunt make it, or I didn't see. And so you start to limit your own belief in yourself. And unfortunately, you will not believe. Like it's like you'll teeter totter for a long time. And a lot of that was just me being in my head, because I didn't know if I wanted to really take on what it's like to really believe. Because when you start to believe in yourself, a sense of like boldness starts to happen. And so you kind of like, wow, you know, is this comfortable? Is this right? And so you go through so many emotions, but it's so worth it. But in the beginning, it was so hard for me to believe, like, Ashley, you can really be, you know, a successful business owner. And not saying that I have reached a old level of success, because it's still a development thing, but to know that you want to be able to see yourself grow, you know, from year one. You know, I shouldn't be in the same place I was when I first entered the industry. You know, it's about growth. So, but the belief, my whole first year was spent literally on reading books, because I had to get my belief up. I knew that if I did not believe in myself, like what my mentor always says is, he says, if no one else believes in you, then you have a chance to win. But if you don't believe in you, you don't have a chance to win. And so that stuck out to me. And I really just, again, got a whole nother circle. I really had to, kind of just shelter myself for a long time because I needed to be around those people that were like-minded, that were like, listen, we are not going to work for someone for forever. Like, we will get to a place where we own our own time. And so a lot of times when you are going through that phase, it is so hard for you to talk to the friend who's in that negative work environment, because you like, listen, fire them, like, go out and do your own thing, build your own company. And that friend is like, what are you talking about? I got bills, so it's such a different conversation. But you have that other friend, that's like-minded, that's going and getting it. She's like, you know what? This is a part of that journey. We're going to be at the top together. You need that around you. And so I would definitely say that's what's going to help with the belief as well. You have to make sure you're around people who are just like-minded like you, and even more motivated, or, at a place where you're like, man, I want to get to where they are in life. Great. Go be around them. Surround yourself with them.
Yeah, that's awesome. I can see that, because it's kind of like having somebody on a buddy system. You kind of, hook up together and you go forward. And if you're falling behind, they can be there to encourage you. And this is what can work and this is what will work. It makes all the difference versus the naysayers, the woe is me's, and this is why it's not going to work. So I can definitely understand that belief system. That's awesome. In regards to, you said your husband is working with you as well. So how did you get him, or what took place for him to say, I don't want to say hi Jamaica, because we don't talk like that. So what was the fabulous part of your journey that made your husband say, I want to be down?
Wow. I'm seeming to get that question a lot lately. We literally just got that question, and I told the other agents, because it was about 50 other people we had to help train today, and I always tell them, listen, the biggest selling point to anyone when you're doing anything in business that you're trying to pursue, right? Mm-hmm. People definitely are they're honed in at your development. Mm-hmm. It's more than me getting into, maybe a tea industry or whatever. It's more than that. What has that industry helped do to grow you as a person? Mm-hmm. What has that company do to grow you? Like, how have you really changed? People want to see that. If they see you and they still see you and you're still there, it's like, okay, well, I mean, what's fascinating about it? Like, it hasn't really did anything for you, So we have to understand that. And he saw that times where I probably would have been watching the Real Housewives of Atlanta and going on, my head was down in a book. And he saw the transformation of me literally looking over finances and being serious about saving, and all the things that I really was learning, I started to implement. And so the transformation just started to happen naturally. And I was like, okay, wait, spending a lot. This is crazy. What am I doing? I started to become more self-aware. And so because of the transformation and the self-awareness, I believe is what drew him closer to, okay, what is this industry, really about? What are you really learning? Because I know you to be a spender. So if this industry can turn you literally into a saver, I need to really see what's going on. And so we have to remember that, especially when we want our spousal support, in our vision or in the big dream of the business, what have they seen differently from you? How has your energy been? Man, I'm about business. Man, I'm making it happen. Because realistically, they want results, because what the time that you're spending in your business, your mate is thinking, well, you could have been spending time with me. Mm-hmm. So if I'm not going to spend time with you, I have to show you by the fruits of my labor why. And that in itself will have them like, okay, maybe I need to really come in and, help. Maybe if it's even sending an email, I'm telling you, you'll be surprised how they like kind of drop in, because now it is, wow, this can really be not just her business, our business. And that's exactly what happened.
I love that. That is so awesome. The fruits of the proof is in the pudding, and tree is known by the fruit that it bears.
Yes, absolutely.
That's the best way. The husbands have to see what it is. We can talk all day long, But until we produce the results, they're like, okay, got it.
Absolutely.
Okay. Tell the people about your Boss Up conference.
Oh, this is totally out of my element. This Boss Up conference, and I know most people are like, no, no way, that can't be out of your element. It is. This is the first of many, hopefully. But the whole goal of the Boss Up conference was totally just based on the things that I was going through when it came to just dealing with depression, things that I was going through, dealing with just like I said, the belief system. A lot of things that I realized was holding me back was not tangible.
Mhm.
And when I realized that, and I started to address that by, going through therapy, I said, okay, wow, if I am dealing with a lot of intangible things that has kind of really held me back from me really getting that LLC, or me really stepping up even further. I'm getting the LLC. Okay, now you have to start building your brand. So some people are at different stages in business. Some people are just starting. Some people are building their brand. Some people are 3 to 4 years in and they've built a brand, but they can't understand, how to really operate. Because at this point, once you even build a brand, you have to have a team. And if you haven't started to delegate or lead some people, you'll burn yourself out. But a lot of times people don't delegate because of trust issues.
Yeah.
So that's a little deep. It's not the business. It's just that, ooh, I may not trust you because I have got hurt before, or somebody, that I was talking about going in business with before, they burnt me. Now I can't delegate, but I'm burnt out. I'm no good to anyone. Payroll is always late. Those are the things we have to address. It's so much mental things that women go through, and because of that, it keeps them stagnant. So when I got to a place where I understood, man, bossing up is not a money thing. It is really a mentality. It's me telling myself, hey, you really got this. Forget everything else, detox your mind of all those negative thoughts, and just know this is the time to really just take control, because there's too many people around this world that are success stories of just believing in themselves. So just forget it. Just be your own boss. And I realized, man, that is a mentality. Like, you really have to mentally prepare yourself to lead yourself. Because realistically, when you become a boss and you are, not dependent on that 9 to 5, you got to be able to lead yourself. So that's hard for a lot of people. That's why so many weight loss programs, and it's so much lack of discipline. So that's my biggest thing that I always tell entrepreneurs. You have to know you, and you have to be ready and disciplined when you're ready to make that jump, because you have to lead yourself before you can lead anyone else. And so that's the biggest part of it. Just making sure that you do what you have to do to improve yourself. And by default, everything else is going to come. But that's the boss up mentality. So that's the goal, is to have all the women that have registered in the room that day. Of course, precautions, we will make sure that we all are masked and everything else. But the goal is to really just have an authentic environment. I don't want it to be judgmental at all. We're going to come into this environment. You're going to hear from some panel speakers, who have been through the things, whether it has been, tangible or intangible struggles, and how they've been able to overcome it. And then by default, now they're expanding in business, or their brands are expanding, or they're just at a place in life where things is going so great. But guess what? They didn't give up. After, not one, they knocked on the door, that door didn't open, kept going. And, they knocked until it was door number 20, but guess what? They didn't give up. And so we're just there to, I don't want to say empower, because I know so many empowerment events, but this is this is more authentic. I want us to talk about those things, whether it's childhood trauma, maybe you grew up in a household and you were not loved. Someone never told you could do it. Someone ever might have even told you were pretty. So you may even have self-esteem issues, because you're like, listen, I want to start this business, but do I really got to be the face of my brand? I don't know if I really like myself. I don't know if I'm really pretty. I was always told I had big lips. These are some of the things that I dealt with, but I am at a point now where I know I am my brand. Right. It's no other way. I have to love everything about myself, because I am my brand. So But guess what? That's a boss mentality. I had to take ownership of, you gotta love yourself. So this is what the conference is. Well, not conference. I guess I'm speaking that into existence. Jesus,
Right.
Look, I don't even see that. I'm like, wow, this was a one-day thing. How did they go to a conference? Wait a second.
Call those things that be not as though they were.
That's right. Because I'm like, wow, they event, right? So this is what it's going to be about, though. Just having the women, all the women are from different age ranges. It's not just, no, everyone's from different age ranges on to millennials on up. That's what I love about it. And we're really going to address those things, that the elephant in the room that a lot of people maybe don't want to talk about, because realistically, a lot of us are coming out, well, not a lot of us, everyone's coming out of a pandemic. And a lot of people jump right into work mode because they had been, all for whatever. Okay, are you okay mentally? We still have to think about that. Are you okay mentally? You may have suffered losing 20,000.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot that has taken place within a year. And so it's time to really boss up, but let's get rid of those things that's really holding us back, right? That no one can see. Let's get rid of those things. Let's address it. Let's talk about, maybe how to get, teletherapy, or the things that you really need so that you can go out and really be the best you.
Mm-hmm. I love it. I love it. You mentioned attending therapy, and what kind of came to mind when you described the whole event is that this may very well be an opportunity for women to kind of get a taste of what therapy can do, the benefits of it. They may sit and just listen. They may participate. I don't know how all it's going to go, but I feel that we as Black women, we are not encouraged to go to therapy, but it's so necessary. There's such a stigma behind going to therapy. And I'm just going to be real about what I heard growing up. Therapy is for white people. Therapy is for people who have money. We go to church. We talk to our best friends. We talk to the girl who does our hair. We sex it out. We eat it out. We shop it out. And we talk to God in prayer. And that's our therapy. And, it is what it is. People handle their issues in whatever way that's necessary. But sometimes we need a professional and in a structured and controlled environment so that we can speak what's on our hearts, what's on our minds, those things that we've never told anyone, just for the sake of the beginning of healing. So I think that this event is just going to be dynamic because somebody needs to start somewhere. Yeah. So that's awesome. I love it.
This is the year to boss up. It is a mentality thing. I don't want people being so hung up on money. No, this is a mentality thing. Mm-hmm. This is you telling you, hey, I am gonna boss up. I'm gonna take ownership, right? Because that's what a boss. We're gonna take ownership of all of the crap that was holding us back, and I want women to leave out that day, especially that day, feeling like, man, you cannot tell me I can't fly to the moon.
That's right.
That's how I want them to feel. So I'm excited for Release the Bondage so you can boss up. Absolutely.
I love it. You also mentioned that you were a woman of faith. Do you have a favorite scripture that you rely on and you really go to this when you're going through some tough times?
Yes, I'm glad you asked me that. My favorite scripture, and I actually had this on my hat when I graduated, receiving my associate's degree, Jeremiah 29:19, I'm sorry. For the plan I have for you, Jesus, got so much going on in my head, but, for the plans I have for you, God said plans for us to prosper, not to harm us. And that is something that I keep near and dear to my heart, because it has been so many moments where I'm like, okay, Lord, I know you said you would put more on me than I can bear, but this is a lot. So I have those times, and that scripture that I have posted on that index card, it helps just keep me in that moment. And so that is the one that I solely just stand on, because I'm like, okay, he said that he has plans to prosper me. I have to remember that. that, at the end of the day, it's going to be for my benefit. So that's the scripture that I pretty much stand on.
Good. I love it. As we listen to you, we hear you've done this, you've accomplished that. This is how you handle this thing over here, and these are your future goals. How do you balance or make sense of your whole entire life? You're a wife, you're a mom, you're an entrepreneur, you're a boss. How do you balance it all, or do you balance it all?
That's gonna be some people that are like, oh, they might not like my response, but I just gonna speak on me. I feel, and I just feel this way, that it's really no, and until I am literally at a place where my business is running and I don't have to be there at all. I have, until I get to that point, I feel like it's no balance right now. Mm-hmm. To be totally honest, I'm like, because I spent so much time my first year in business looking for balance. I mean, putting calendars together, putting pegboards together. Okay, kids, this is where I'll be. This is what I'll do. And I found myself literally feeling like if things weren't done on that pegboard, I found myself feeling like, what am I doing? Am I a failure? Am I, not here enough with the kids, or am I not here? And I had to stop that, and I had to say, okay, Ashley, think about it, right? You are one person, and in somewhere, some way, something's gonna get neglected. Mm-hmm. Like, let's just be real. Somewhere, something's gonna get neglected. All you can do is just try to be the best at communicating, mm-hmm. right? Seeing if you can implement a system. If you can, great. If you can't, it's okay. Just allow the communication to be so clear and effective with, my husband and with the kids, and so that way everything's clear. So it's like, hey kids, hey son, I might not be able to make your track meet on Saturday. I have X, Y, and Z, but this is what I have planned for us after. Or let me just be clear. That way I don't have to deal with all of the, oh my gosh, I missed it, or I couldn't make it, or scratch it. Scratch it, Ashley. Realistically, right now, you're building a business. You can't be everywhere all the same time. You're not going to be able to make every event that you are invited to, family, or hey, but just tell them, hey, I'm so excited for you. I appreciate all that you have done. But guess what? I won't be able to make it. I have a lot going on right now in business. But any other time I support you, everyone knows me. I'm very genuine. I'll give you a gift because that's my love language. And so I try to just show my appreciation in spite of, but I know realistically, when it comes to building a business, it's at least your first 5 years before you can really even start to coast. Right. So I'm in that building stage. And because my mentality is, I need to build this up, I'm willing to just be clear and straightforward with everyone so that way I don't have to feel like I'm trying to find out. And I did it the first year, man, it drove me crazy. Mm-hmm. I felt so bad sometimes as a parent. I'm like, I thought I was going to be able to make it at 4. And like, I felt so bad. And then over time, I'm like, Ashley, realistically, you're one person. You wear a lot of hats. You can't be everywhere. Just be clear with people. And guess what? They know your heart. They know you. And I had to just accept that. And ever since then, I promise you, yes, my life is hectic. It's still hectic because outside is opening and we have 4 kids, and all 4 of my kids were active prior to COVID. So, it's still now, I'm like, wow, practices is coming back into the schedule now. I'm like, wow, it's not all business. But, even with what's going on for us with our grand opening. I mean, I'm a mother, and I realized that, like, hey, I am taking away from, time from my kids because we got to be there. We got measurements. It's a lot that goes into a grand opening. So I know that, hey, kids, guess what? It's going to be a lot going on next week, but man, the week after, where are we trying to go? Because now I have to show them, hey, all of that grind, it was for no reason.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. Okay. As we wrap up, what closing words would you like to share?
Oh man. So much. I would say just really one of my hashtags, matter of fact, that's what I will leave with. I keep most people keep saying it, bet on yourself, bet on yourself, bet on yourself. If you can't do anything else, I will tell you to bet on yourself. This is why you need to be around like-minded people so that you can have that fuel and that energy and the tenacity and the perseverance, all of the things that you need. Yeah, I will definitely say you need it by surrounding yourself with people, but bet on yourself. If you know you and you know, like, man, if my back is against the wall, I'm gonna find a way. Listen, bet on yourself. And that's what that's my closing words. It's just bet on yourself, especially in 2021. It is so many people that I have seen become millionaires even during this pandemic. So I don't want anyone to feel like they cannot reach, financial freedom, or, oh, it's so much going on in the world that I'll never get there. No, it's so many people that is thriving and prospering even during this pandemic. So bet on yourself, boss up and go and get it.
Got it. Love it. Love it. Love it. How can the people find you on social media? Which platforms and what names?
Well, clearly I have been asked to extend my platform. So I guess that's another thing I'm gonna have to try to get into. It's like a new app every other day.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, I can't keep up. I'm trying, but it's like, wow. So yeah, I've been asked to like try to get back on Twitter and do some things. So that will be coming as well. But right now, most people can find me on Facebook, Ashley Barrett. On Facebook, Fashion and Finance is the brand that I have built when it's come to my independent self. However, with my husband being in the financial business, so we're looking to do a lot of things within couples and just family-wise, with business and fun, because we hang around a lot of couples as well, and we like to go on trips. So it's going to be so many great branding things happening and expansion happening. But follow me on Facebook, Ashley Barrett. On Instagram, I am styled by Ashley_B. And you can find me up there. And I just look forward to growing a brand. So you'll see me on the Twitters and some other platforms because it's so much. And I'm trying to keep up because it's a part of branding, right? It's a part of business. But this is a beautiful thing to follow me because I will be super transparent. Anytime anyone needs advice, I'm here, because that's the type of person I am. I want to see everyone grow.
Okay. Love it. Love it. Love it. Once again, thank you so much for stopping by and chatting with us today. We really do appreciate it so much. And I hope you guys gained a lot of information just as much as I did. I was over here taking notes. If you want to be successful, you got to at least pick the nuggets from someone who is at least proven that they're trying and things are really working out for them. So that's awesome. Thank you guys so much for stopping by on this special segment of About Her Ministry, Marketplace Ministry. We will see you next time. And remember to release your genius, pull off the impossible every day, and let's be glamorous, godly girls.
Yes.